Hi.
Hello, I'm Bernard Kyriakos, I'm with Vantiva, and today we're going to show you several use cases of how you leverage the AI engine and the NPU engine on the Synaptics VS680. The product you see here is called the Soundscape. It is essentially a soundbar with a video embedded device in it, which is the Synaptics VS680. The first demos that I'm going to show is we took the soundbar and loaded on it essentially 3 avatars, and these avatars are triggered from a speaker recognition perspective. So you call the avatar, and the goal of this demo is to show how you can have a conversational interaction with the avatar in order to request information. That could be help on, for example, if you're an elderly, could be a nurse help, if you need to ask questions, and that avatar is interacting with ChatGPT in order to deliver the information back to you.
It can say everything?
You could say, ask it anything.
It can answer anything?
It could answer anything.
And the lips are synced?
And
in real time?
The lips may or may not be synced. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. But the intent of the avatar is to be there as a sentient being, to be able to hear your speech, and it does speech to text and send it to the cloud, where the cloud has the intelligence to be able to understand what was requested, relay it back, and we're going to demonstrate how this works. So, one of the elements of the demo is to be obviously here, run the virtual assistant.
Is this you?
This is me. It is showing me. It's showing me that I'm green. It means that the camera detects me. There is a person in the room, and I'm close to it. And the way it works is that I need to call my avatar. There are 3 avatars. One of the avatars is called Tyler. I am going to call him, and he will ask me what I need to do. So first step is to call Tyler.
Hi, Tony. How can I assist you?
Who's going to win the next elections?
I can't predict future events like election outcomes. It often depends on various factors and public opinion. Is there anything else you'd like to know?
So it's real-time lip syncing the answer and full ChatGPT. There's nearly no limit what this could do, right?
No. If ChatGPT can do it, it will do it. It's just really in the request over a text. You're talking to it live, and it's relaying the request back. And when ChatGPT gets a request, it's going to answer whatever ChatGPT answers. And so you're getting back the answer. And the whole idea is to make it easy for people to interact with it, as opposed to typing things. You're sitting in front of your TV, and you're able to ask any question. Let's assume you're an elderly person, you fell down, or you're sick. You can ask it a question.
You can ask, when is this show I want to watch?
You can ask
Island,
exactly.
Paradise Island.
Exactly.
Or
you can ask it, is Costco open today?
Or could you record the news for me? Maybe it integrates with the...
Absolutely. And the other model for the avatar is that you can have an operator, for example, like a Verizon or a DirecTV. They can overlay their own avatar on top, and they can assist customers in product selection. Oftentimes, some people are afraid of technology, and avatar lowers the barrier because it is a sentient being in front of you, and you can change the avatar. You can have, like you can see, you can have an Asian person, you can have any person, elderly person, you can have male, female, and you can configure the voice as well.
And there's so much potential here. And is it because the chipset is so powerful, the Astra, that you're able to do this in a way that others don't do yet?
Well, absolutely. I think if you look back at what we are seeing today on the market, and I think the Synaptics chipset, the VS680, was one of the first to incorporate AI and NPU as well. We're able to do functions like anything from an HDR upscaling to things like loading an avatar and have it do, because it's so powerful. It has 40K DMIPS, and so we're seeing more and more these functionalities being embedded into these set-top boxes that allow for otherwise functions that were not possible 3 or 4 years ago. Absolutely.
And it's really important to have the presence detection.
Well, it is the implementation today validates that someone is in front of the camera. If you're not present in the room, you have to find a way to detect someone is in the room. Now, the camera is one way to do it. It's not the only way to do it. There are other methods for detecting if someone is in the room, so you can effectively activate it. And the idea of activating the avatar, as I said earlier, is that it's speaker dependent. So you cannot ask it, for example, unless you train the system. So the camera is there only to detect that someone is in the room. And if you find an alternative way, for example, we have here technologies that show the presence. You can use that, and you're able to basically...
And gestures?
Gesture is available, absolutely. That's another example. So we can show what you could do with gesture here. I'm going to show an example of a game that is leveraging gesture in order to run games, for example.
Nice. You're gonna slice some melons? Hands up. Nice. Nice. Is there any Synaptics chips in the remote to get a clear recording of the voice?
There are no chips from Synaptics in the remote, not that there couldn't be one, but you could potentially have recording. What were you thinking of in terms of recording? Why would you record your voice?
You want to have very reliable prompts that it always understands you. Isolates your voice even if it's a busy living room.
I see. So today the microphone we're using is not high accuracy microphone. However, the soundbar can be equipped with multiple array microphone that gives you a much better accuracy and better understanding. And I think the other part is that you can isolate the noise. There are many technologies here where you can remove the noise out or other voices in the room. You can focus on the one person speaking. So there are AI technologies that you can embed in here that basically isolate multiple voices and focus on the one voice of your main speaker.
And they could merge offline and online AI to get a quick response. You don't want to wait for the avatar to think for like 3 seconds.
That's a great question. It's a recurring theme that comes basically people asking how much intelligence can you put in a soundbar. And obviously, if you were to create a model where you restrict what the model does, let's assume you create a smaller vocabulary or a smaller scope to say, I'm only going to do a movie recommendation. Obviously, you go from the world to be able to know what's happening in the world or anything you can ask, down to I'm only going to be a movie recommender. So you could build an avatar that is a movie recommender that is a much more restricted library and lower intelligence. All what it has to know is you like action movie, what artist is playing, and so on. And you could potentially load that in a set-top box, but then becomes a very restrictive application. You can't really, the beauty of the app that what we're showing here, the service, is that you could potentially have any request, and it's open because it's going back to the cloud.
I don't mind it thinking for a few seconds to get stuff online, but I wanted to answer quick and basically be smart about it and, and be like answering immediately, but still, it can take 2 or 3 seconds to get the complicated part of the answer, but it should start with yes, let me check it out. Actually, yeah, you can do this.
I see what you're saying. So start with a local database and then augment it with an database. It's an interesting point. It could be done. I think it would probably take some development work. I'm not a developer, but it's something that can be done. Oftentimes, you see, if you look back at speech recognition, oftentimes people started building a database, a vocabulary that was 10,000 words, and they'd be able to go much faster because they use like intonation or lexical stress to tell which word is let's say you have computer, pewter is the second syllable that is stressed. So you're able to zoom in directly and know what word was spoken. And if you need more words, then you go to the cloud, because you can load the whole 10,000 word on board, and you can have 1 million words outside, for example. So you definitely can do this stuff. It's going to take development. It's going to take some work. Someone has to start with a use case. You always want to start with a business case. What are you trying to achieve first? And then you build that product, as opposed to I'm going to do anything I can. I think it's a lot easier to start with that use case.
The model for this avatar, the way it moves, the way it's lip sync is really interesting. And I guess a lot of improvements can happen there to make it more realistic, because a TV, in theory, you can have a full-size, human-size face,
Absolutely.
or body even, and that's really breaking the whole, like you can start talking with the AI like it's a real person.
In fact, that's a recurring theme that you hear people are saying, like, if you make it more natural, you're breaking the barrier, you're getting closer to a human interaction, and you're getting more out of it. But the technology has to become, obviously cost is a major requirement, connectivity, we got to break those barriers as well, and implementation, because to have lower delay, you're going to have better chipset, and that's going to drive better response time. But absolutely, I think this is the beginning of what you can envision in the next few years.
And sorry to keep bringing, it's easy for me to bring what I hope would happen, but I like to sit down and get customized news. The avatar is just reading the news I want to hear. That'd be cool.
Absolutely. I think we're opening the door to what can come. I go back to, if you want to have CNN can build a newscaster, and they can have an avatar being newscaster. So rather than turning on to CNN app, you basically ask for the avatar, and maybe it's called your famous newscaster at CNN. I don't know who that is.
And gives the news you're interested in.
And basically, hey, ask it, you know me, tell me the news on international scene, or tell me what's happening in my city. Absolutely. You could design that. You could develop that.